Antarctica, the seventh continent, the most remote and mysterious place on Earth. For almost 2 millennia, people believed in a massive southern land, a theoretical continent thought to balance the landmass of the North. But it wasn't until 1820 that Antarctica was actually seen for the first time, and another 75 years before humans finally set foot on it. This is the coldest, highest, driest, and windiest place on the planet, uninhabitable by humans. It doesn't belong to any country, has no official time zone, and the sun can stay up for 24 hours in the summer and disappear for months in the winter. Yet, despite these harsh conditions, Antarctica continues to attract adventurers, scientists, and those with the so-called polar bug that can't seem to stay away. Call us crazy, but we wanted to see it for ourselves. So, to the end of the Earth, we go. Our journey begins far down in the south of Chile, in a city called Punta Arenas. This is where Explorer House is located, our base camp for our trip to Antarctica. And getting to the seventh continent is an experience in itself, one defined by the unpredictability of the weather, where we don't yet know if we'll make the trip on time or at all.
It's a little bit hectic today at the Explorer House because the original itinerary was to spend the day here, check in, take our time, have a welcome dinner, and then sleep at a hotel in Punta Arenas and get on a flight tomorrow morning. But because of changing weather conditions, our flight was pushed up by 1 day. So we're actually flying out this afternoon at 1 p.m. and we're gonna get on the bus to go to the airplane in like 30 minutes, so it's definitely a lot more fast-paced than expected. And exciting news, today is our 9th year wedding anniversary. So Lenza and I will be celebrating in Antarctica, which is absolutely mind-blowing. I never thought that the trajectory of our life would lead us here, but how cool. What's different about Antarctica 21 compared to other Antarctica cruise companies is that instead of sailing into Antarctica, which you go through the Drake Passage, which is the most notorious, roughest seas in the world, and it takes a couple days to get there, instead of that, you take a 2-hour flight. There's our plane! I don't really know what to expect, and I'm kind of happy to have it that way. I intentionally didn't do a lot of research before coming, so I can really be surprised and immersed at everything we have ahead of us. After a bus, a plane, and then another bus, we are now at our final step before we finally board the ship, which I can see right over there. So we get on the Zodiac, and it's a quick ride, and then we'll be in our home for the next 5 or 6 days. It's our 6th continent, so exciting. And it's actually pretty mild so far. It feels like it's like 35, 40 degrees, so it's not so bad.
If one of you guys are the ones that falls in the water, please put your hands in the air and just wave calmly like you don't care. That way I can see where you are in the water.
We're here. We didn't know it at the time, but we were this close to not being able to board the ship because of shifting weather conditions. Winds here can exceed 200 miles per hour, out of nowhere. Temperatures can drop below -80 degrees Celsius. A few more hours, and we would have been stuck at the base for several days, like another unlucky group that arrived just after we did. But that's the nature of Antarctica. You're completely at the mercy of the elements. And it's a testament to the professionalism of Antarctica 21 that the crew didn't show how urgent the situation was and got us on board a whole day early.
So because of how pristine Antarctica is, there's really strict regulations around visiting and keeping the ecosystem safe. So as soon as we get on board the boat, we have to sanitize our boots. And this is the machine. It's like a little car wash for your shoe. Oh. Thank you. We're done with everything, done with all the steps, and we are here, and I'm so excited to see our room and explore the ship. It's finally hitting me that this is real. And all the months leading up to this trip, like, you know, it didn't quite feel like reality, but now that we're here, it's like, ah. Let me give you a little tour of where we'll be staying the next 5 or 6 nights. So this is the walkway in, door behind me. On our right, we have a little coffee station with an espresso machine, water boiler, some tea. So if you're a caffeine addict like me, this is a very welcome sight. Here you have a safe, and underneath you have a little mini fridge here. And there's not one, but 2 closets. And they're actually fairly spacious. Across is the bathroom, so let's see it for the first time. Come on in. It's actually pretty spacious for a boat bathroom. You have a stand-up shower here. That's a pretty good size. Toilet, big spacious sink, not bad. And then here is the bed, and it is a pretty big bed. It's definitely king size. I think we'll be very comfortable here. And then across the way, little desk and chair, full-length mirror, which is my fave, so we make sure we don't get ugly in the next 5 or 6 days. But here is where the real magic happens. Ta-da! This is our balcony. There's 2 chairs out here, a table, and it's from here that we can take in the magic of Antarctica all around. Good morning. We sailed through the night and it was a really rocky one, but now we have landed here and it is a very calm, very warm day actually. And isn't this view just crazy? I mean, there's just icebergs floating out in the ocean. We've had a couple whale sightings already, so it's already very beautiful. And today we've just been familiarizing ourselves with the ship, getting to know the crew, and we're going on our first excursion. They're dropping the Zodiacs now right behind us. Okay. Hello. Thank you. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
No worries.
Spurt Island is a small, rocky island off the northeastern tip of the Antarctic Peninsula, one of the first parts of the continent ever seen by humans. Here, we get our first glimpse of the Antarctica we've only heard of or read about. Jutting snow-covered cliffs, giant icebergs, and wildlife.
This is the entrance to an iceberg graveyard. It looks pretty crazy.
An iceberg graveyard is an area where large icebergs become grounded in shallow water or trapped by underwater ridges, currents, and sea ice. A place where they slowly die, instead of drifting out to warmer waters and melting away. But this process takes years, and for now, we are treated to dramatic formations, different hues of blue, and pieces taller than a 10-story building.
All right, well,
that was a pretty memorable first expedition. I would say the cruise is off to a pretty strong start.
Getting to Antarctica requires a lot of planning, and it's kind of wild to think that this trip started a few months ago with spreadsheets and way too many browser tabs open. I actually love the travel planning process, and if you are that person in your family or friend group that always finds yourself planning the trips, booking hotels, building itineraries,
There's actually a way to turn this skill into a fulfilling business.
that's where the sponsor of today's video, Fora, comes in. Fora is a modern travel agency built for people who are interested in turning their passion for travel planning into a source of income. As a Fora advisor, you get expert training, powerful booking tools, and access to a global community of travel experts to help you start and grow a travel business on your own terms. For every hotel, cruise, or experience you book, you earn a commission. So getting started can be as easy as planning a trip for someone you know. So if I were to book this Antarctica 21 expedition as a Fora advisor for a friend of mine, I would earn commission on that booking.
With access to more than 7,000 preferred travel partners, you'll unlock VIP perks like upgrades, resort credits, and late checkout, giving you and your clients the kind of elevated travel experiences regular travelers simply don't get.
Imagine making money from doing something you already love to do. Become a Fora advisor today at www.foratravel.com/dots-on-a-map. That's FORAtravel.com/dots-on-a-map. And make sure to let them know we sent you. Today we are at Port Lockroy, which is this little base you see behind me on this island over here. We're going kayaking on our excursion today, and Port Lockroy is a very interesting place. People actually live here, volunteers for a nonprofit, and it lays claim to the southernmost post office in the entire world. So let's go.
I got 3 layers of pants on, like 4 layers, including this jacket. And today we're going kayaking, so I'm wearing this dry suit as well.
Are you sure that's right?
It's a dry suit.
I'm done. How does it look?
Good.
Ready for the Antarctic.
Go.
That was amazing. We survived our first ocean kayak. All right, now we get to go to Fort Lockroy, the British base, and explore a little bit over there. First things first, we arrived on the base, and my mic is covered with penguin poop now because I dropped it. So it's a good start, and it's pretty cool. There's a few little structures here, and we're surrounded by penguins, and I believe it's like birthing season, so you got a lot of penguins with their nests over here. Maybe we'll see a few eggs, and we just saw this little guy crawl up with a pebble in his mouth, and that's what they use to build their nests. Also some good penguin lore. Apparently female penguins will occasionally sell their bodies in exchange for rocks to build their nests with. So there is some red light districting going on in this part of the world. Amanda, so you live here right now. What is that like?
It's really special. It's like nothing I've ever experienced before.
And you have a really personal tie to the island, right?
I do, yeah. My father was base leader here in 1948. He always wanted to come back, but he never did. So I thought, well, I'll follow in his footsteps. So this is why I'm here.
Oh, that's amazing. And what's the living quarters like here?
We live in a specially built hut. So we have solar panels for power. We have propane gas for cooking and heating. We don't have running water, but our friends on the cruise ships always supply us with water, so that all works.
And there's a whole penguin colony here, right?
Yeah, we have Gentoo penguins here, and we have about 500 breeding pairs. The chicks are just hatching, so it's a really special time.
It's so cool they're just living among you like this.
Yeah, I know, and it's a privilege really to be here and to watch them.
What type of people does Antarctica attract to come live here?
Adventurous souls, but resilient. I think you've got to have a certain mindset to come here, but I know it's a lot of fun.
We are at the southernmost post office in the world, and we're sending some postcards to friends, so. Okay. Woo.
Love you guys.
Love from Antarctica. And there's a penguin with her chicks, and it's really, really cute. Okay, now off we go back on the boat. We're on quite a regimented schedule here, so you're kind of in and out a lot, but it's cool because you get to do a lot of cool things in a really short period of time. We're approaching the Mer Channel. They say this is one of the most beautiful parts of the entire continent of Antarctica. And it's quite cool. You're surrounded by very dramatic mountain peaks that are snow covered, and the narrowest part of the channel is apparently 700 meters. So it is stunning already. And yeah, this is the Antarctica that you dream of for sure. And the water is so serene here, it looks like a mirror. And it just got really calm all of a sudden. And it's so quiet. Wow. It's so beautiful, so surreal. Like it's like a serious pinch me moment right now.
No words. I can barely speak. That's so crazy. It's like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen, ever. And I don't think there's gonna be anything more beautiful than this.
At the southern exit of the Mer Channel lies Cape Tuxen, where steep glacial mountains plunge straight into the sea. On clear days, the water turns to glass, and it is completely still. The silence broken only by the creak of drifting sea ice and slow-moving icebergs in every shape and size. Pure polar wilderness.
Activity number 2 of the day. We are now going to be cruising around Tuxen Bay on the science boat. So Wendy will be our guide and we'll be learning a little bit about the environment here.
We're going to drop a seki disc, which is basically a large dinner plate.
We just completed our first mission, which is to take a sample of the water. And she put iodine in it so the things inside don't kill each other. It just kind of like stops their function. And then it will be sent to the University of Buenos Aires. And now we are towing a net through the water for 10 minutes.
Measuring bacteria reveals how warming waters are reshaping the ecosystem, while water clarity shows how much life the ocean holds, helping scientists track how melting ice is changing Antarctic waters and what comes next.
And then you're going to say when you can't see it anymore. You all want to talk to each other, agree at what depth it's disappeared.
Okay. Yeah, so when the plane comes down, it will bring our next group down. So the plane you fly back on, it will bring down.
We are currently extraordinarily close to a humpback whale. And she's kind of just chilling too, like swimming slowly. So we're gonna stalk her for a little bit.
Turns out, we were sailing through whale soup. Each summer, whales travel by the thousands to Antarctica, drawn by the krill that make these waters one of the richest feeding grounds on Earth. And everywhere we looked, there they were. Some in pairs, some alone. And to be next to these majestic animals, to have them so close, in some cases right next to the ship or next to our tiny Zodiac boats, it's a pretty unforgettable experience.
All right, end of the whale soup. We were surrounded by like 6 whales. It was pretty crazy out there. We saw a little tail, just a little, and it's really beautiful.
Good morning, my dear expedition members. I hope you had a good night's rest. The sun is out and it looks absolutely stunning.
Hey, we're going kayaking again today, and the weather is beautiful. The conditions are really calm. It's just really amazing to be out here. It's so beautiful. And to have the penguins jump out every so often, and there's a whale right there. That whale was a good omen. I think it's gonna be a good day on the water. We've been so lucky with the weather. Like, it's actually very pleasant out and sunny, as you can see. I don't know if the weather is always this nice in Antarctica, but I'll take it. Liam, is it always this nice in Antarctica?
No, this is unreal. This is like some of the best conditions we've had in a long
We're surrounded by ice. So as we're kayaking, we're passing little pieces of ice and there's big icebergs. It really is just the perfect day. Sometimes in life you have to stop and just think, wow, I'm here, and like really take in the moment. I think we're filming and stuff, so we're always thinking about what we can capture, but you know, here we gotta learn how to stand still and just really soak it all in, because it's such a once in a lifetime moment. The sounds in Antarctica are amazing. It's quiet, but you hear the waves. And if you listen really carefully, you can hear the ice melting. And the icebergs here are very interesting. They're all different shapes and textures. There's some icebergs that look like swans, some that look like mushrooms. Some are more porous, some are more smooth. All the ice is different colors. And this tells you different things about the ice, like if it was formed underwater, for example, how old it is, how much air is in it. So there's like all these nuances in nature that our guides have been explaining to us. That's really interesting. There's penguins here. They're really all over Antarctica. Like, I knew to expect that, but really they are absolutely everywhere. And they're so cute when they're on land. Like, they're these little awkward, waddly things. They walk with their wings back, and they're kind of indecisive when they want to jump in the water or not. But then it's crazy because once they get in the water, they're the most graceful things on earth. Like, they're these fast torpedoes. They're so graceful. If you see them, they're like shh. But yeah, they're fun. And you smell them everywhere. Like, the smell of penguin poop is ever present. Look, there they go. Okay, they're decisive. Those are not, though. Oh, look. Look, they're in the water. Oh, you can see them. They're fast. They're really fast. We just saw a seal lounging on a big piece of ice, and he rolled over after a while, and you could see the steam releasing from his body because of that movement. Oh my God. Man overboard. We had our first kayaking incident. Our bros from Santiago in the water. They're handling it quite well, though. How's the water?
Perfect.
Oh my goodness, guys. After morning's activities, we are at the dining room. So let us show you what a typical lunch looks like on the ship. I'm currently in line for a stir fry. So each day they kind of have a different food station, freshly cooked food. So definitely gonna get one of these today. Each meal is a little bit different. Breakfast, there's usually a breakfast buffet, and then they have an omelet station. Lunch is usually a buffet setup as well, and then today they had the stir fry station, other days they have different stations. And then dinner is always a sit-down affair. So you get to choose from 4 to 5 different courses. Lenza has steak every night, for example, and it is really nice. The food is really, really good. Considering we're in the middle of nowhere, this is the ultimate luxury.
In the afternoon, we take another excursion, this time to Port Charcot. Here, we take our first hike in Antarctica and are rewarded with beautiful views of the harbor, with its dramatic peaks and striking ice formations. When we get back on the ship, it's time for something very special. Some call it bold, others call it foolish. Here's a hint as to what it is.
For strong heart and weak brains. Yeah, plunge.
Strong hearts, weak brains, all of us over here. The water temperature at this time of year is between 0 and 2 degrees. So of course, what else would we do but jump right into it? As they say around here, strong hearts and weak brains.
3, 2, 1, go!
The water was freaking cold, and I kind of went into a state of shock. You can see here that I literally swim over Lenza to get out. He's just chilling in there, unbothered.
Oh my god!
Oh my god, 我的天哪！很冷吗？冷吗？sorry, is that cold?
Oh,
It's freezing?
it's fucking cold, yeah.
Okay.
It's insane. It's really, really cold.
And Lenza loved it so much, he actually went in twice.
Wow!
Yeah, baby, good job. Yeah, Iron Man.
My boy.
The second time is different.
Colder?
Yeah.
It's colder. The second time is colder. Fuck.
Afterwards, straight into the sauna.
Unbelievably cold. I've done cold
unbelievable.
plunges before, and it was nothing compared to this. I got in, and then the first second I was like, it's time to go. Swam over Lenza, got out, and now we're in the sauna where we belong. Like, this feels right. This is where we need to be right now.
You literally stepped over me.
In the evening, we gather on the rooftop for an outdoor barbecue. The weather was unusually warm, and adrenaline was still high from the cold plunge. We wrap up a packed day under the midnight sun, which never sets this time of year. Just endless daylight, 24 hours straight. And as if the day wasn't done showing off, 2 whales surfaced beside the ship, swimming side by side. The perfect way to say goodnight.
So tell me about this expedition we're on. Where are we going?
So we are landing at Nico Harbor. This is the proper continent of Antarctica. So you're going to be landing officially in Antarctica.
So you work in Antarctica 6 months out of the year, right?
Yes, I do. In Antarctica and the subantarctic islands.
And what keeps you coming back?
It's the polar bag. I can't imagine myself working anywhere else. The people that come here, they have something special in their spirit, and we get used to these amazing landscapes, all the ice.
And what's your favorite fun fact about Antarctica that people might not know? Okay, so Graham over here said that his favorite fun fact is that it doubles in size in the winter,
Yeah,
which is like kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah, but that's because he's a geologist. He loves rocks.
Well, my favorite fun fact is that penguins sometimes prostitute themselves for rocks.
I saw so many penguins today stealing rocks around. They're very good stealers.
Anything else you'd like to share about yourself, your experience here, or about Antarctica in general?
I think that, yeah, as many people that can come, they should come. It's a changing environment. It's constantly changing. And sometimes we just need to be quiet and enjoy everything that we have around us.
So if you're into technicalities, this is the first time we're actually stepping foot on the continent. And we have a bit of a hike ahead of us to see a glacier. So we're going to follow along this path that's marked by flags. And it is already stunningly beautiful. We're surrounded by very cute waddly penguins, and the landscape is somehow the most dramatic it's ever been, with the fog and the mountains and the icebergs in the distance. So should be a good excursion. Right as soon as we get started on the trail, there's 2 chin-strap penguins napping over here. You see they're lying flat and they're really cute. So you can tell they're chin strap penguins because they literally have a chin strap. You see that black line there? And those are actually my favorite kind of penguin. There are so many penguins in Antarctica because there are few predators and the surrounding waters are rich in krill and fish. During our stay, we mainly saw 3 species: the googly-eyed Adelie penguin, orange-beaked gentoos, and the aptly named chinstrap penguins. These little guys create something called penguin highways, natural paths across snow and ice that help them easily commute between their colonies and the ocean. And yes, they are very cute.
You gotta be careful up here because the snow's softer, so your foot can really sink in. But man, good gear makes a huge difference. We got our waterproof boots, waterproof pants and jacket, and we're really ready for anything out here.
All of those penguins over there have an egg under them. So it's nesting season, and soon they will all hatch 2 little tiny penguin chicks. We made it to the top of the hike. You got the glacier, the harbor. It is really the most picturesque Antarctica. This is your Instagram versus reality moment here in Antarctica. We're all waiting our turn to get our epic photo with the beautiful background of the harbor and the glacier. Today we're going to give you a tour of the boat. We're with a company called Antarctica 21, and we've really enjoyed them so far. What's unique about this boat and this cruise experience is that it is a bit smaller than what the other cruise lines offer. It's a more boutique experience, it's more intimate. This ship is called the Magellan Explorer, and it holds up to around 75 guests. So right now we are at the front of the ship, which is where you can come to get amazing views of the continent. So let's go inside. I'm gonna show you where we've been spending all of our time when we're not out in the wild. There's decks all around the ship, so you get amazing views. As you can see, absolutely
stunning. Got the snow-capped mountains, icebergs everywhere. It is just unbelievable. So at the top floor towards the front of the ship, this is the lounge area. And then all the briefings that we have on the ship take place here. So this is kind of like the core social area on the ship. So see here, very comfy, and you just get panoramic views. It's a really nice, warm place to relax. So down a flight of stairs, let me show you. This hallway, it's all rooms, but at the end, there's something very exciting. This is the gym. It's small, but it has everything you would need to get a good workout in. I had very ambitious goals of coming here every day during the cruise, but because our itinerary has been so jam-packed with adventurous things, I've come back at the end of the day just tired, but it's really good to know that it's here. All right, moving on. So this here is the library. This is another area where you can come hang out and enjoy the view. You got big floor-to-ceiling windows over here. Got my cappuccino. So if you're a caffeine addict like me, these are very strategically placed throughout the entire ship, so you never have to go without your fix. One more flight down. This is the reception desk where you can get help with anything. Across the way here, there's a gift shop. And also if you forget any outdoor gear, you can pick up things here. Over here is the dining room. It's not open right now, but this is where we take 3 meals a day. Down here is what we call the mud room. So over there is the door where we leave the ship to go on excursions. You have little lockers here where our waterproof boots and life vests are kept. And yeah, this is kind of just the place where we gear up and get ready to go outside. This is one of the back decks of the ship, and it's a nice area where you can hang out. It's actually the only smoking area on board. And up here is the top deck. You have some seating here. When the weather is nice, the ship will do some meals out here. And it's really just an amazing place to take it all in. It is gorgeous. You can have your Jack and Rose Titanic moment out here, you know? Near, far, wherever you are. I kind of have to pinch myself every time I see it to be like, it's real, it's real, it's real. And yay, this will be my first time up here. This is the upper deck, and this whole area here, they call the bridge. Well, that's the captain right there, and here's where they steer the ship, see the weather conditions, you know, the control panel, basically all of the technical sides of the ship that I don't fully understand take place right here. It's quite cool that we have access to it. What's, you know, the most challenging or different thing about driving a ship in Antarctica?
Let's say it's always we must be on standby, always be ready for taking any kind of the decision, because Antarctica is a very special region for the weather condition. It can be sunny and sunshine, everything like looks smoothly, and in 5 minutes can be everything changed, but that's why we are here.
Is this weather usual or unusual?
It's incredible even for us. Since last evening, I think you saw the whale watching, they were jumping, sunrise, sunset, it's incredible. It's not very often, but lucky we are, we should enjoy it this day today.
Do you have any final thoughts or anything you'd like to share just in general about your job or Antarctica in general?
In general, I strongly recommend to all the people around the world to join on our trip in the Antarctica, and then you will see how it is, because from the TV or from some movies, reels or whatever, but you never feel it how it is in real life here. So strongly recommend to be here always.
Awesome. Thank you. We've had such an amazing time so far. That is the end of our boat tour. And as you can see, the Magellan Explorer is an amazing ship. The crew has been incredible. It's just really exceeded my expectations all around.
On our final morning, we wake up in Deception Island, one of the strangest places in Antarctica. A flooded volcanic crater where ships sail directly into the center of an active volcano. Steam here rises from the ground, and along the shore, you'll find rusty remnants of a once thriving industry, ruins that tell a darker story of the continent's history.
Today we are at Whalers Bay, located in Deception Island. And this is a very interesting and sad spot because this is where a lot of whaling took place. So a lot of whales were killed here for their oil by pretty much everyone. The British were here, Norwegians, Argentinians, and you can see remnants of this whaling operation on shore. So sad history here. But today we're out kayaking and it's a beautiful day, very calm, and just another amazing day to be outside.
In the early 1900s, Antarctica became a center of whaling. Between 1904 and the 1970s, over 2 million whales were killed in the Southern Ocean alone. Their bodies were boiled down into oil for machinery, or turned into explosives, cosmetics, whatever the modern world demanded. It was one of the largest wildlife slaughters in human history. Even without this knowledge, the atmosphere here feels heavy. And as we kayak across these waters, it slowly becomes clear. We're paddling over a graveyard.
The visibility in the water is really clear, so you can see things underwater. We've spotted a starfish, and there's all sorts of whale bones in the water. You can see like the mandibles, rib bones, maybe the spine. And there's one that's so big that it's actually longer than our kayaks, which is really crazy. Very different experience today. The landscape almost feels a bit Icelandic, actually. We are next to this chinstrap penguin colony, and they have kind of these black beady eyes, and I think they're the cutest ones. Oh my God. So we're just kayaking along the island, and we pass by these jellyfish, and there's a whole school of them, and they're like iridescent, purple. They got these like glowing spines. Man, it was really cool to see them. Welcome to Whalers Bay. This is a volcanic island, and this is quite crazy because of the thermal activity. You can see the water is steaming, and it's actually quite warm. That's where they used to store the whale blubber. So crazy to think about. These containers are massive. I mean, they're several stories tall.
The ruins you see today are what's left after the station was abandoned in 1931. Whaling didn't stop. It simply moved offshore, onto massive factory ships that could process whales entirely at sea. It wasn't until 1986 that commercial whaling was finally banned worldwide. But the damage was done. The blue whale population was reduced to a tiny fraction of their original numbers, and are still critically endangered today. Yet slowly, life is returning to these waters. And today, whales are once again finding their way back to Antarctica.
It is officially our very last excursion on our Antarctica cruise. We are on Half Moon Island,
just a short zodiac ride away from the boat, and it is home to a chinstrap penguin colony.
Hi, I'm Rickard. I'm the expedition leader of this Magellan Explorer, as you can see out here. I've been doing this for 18 years now, more or less, yeah. So I started when I was decently young, and I love it. It's amazing. The polar bug I have. So
Yeah, tell me about how you started coming out to Antarctica, and everyone keeps saying the polar bug. What does that mean?
Well, it means different for everyone, I think, but for me it means that like it's in my soul, like properly in my soul. So when I close my eyes, I can see the polar ocean in front of me. That's how deep it is connected to me.
What is it about Antarctica that keeps you coming back? Like, what's your favorite part about it?
I think it's both the people I meet, but it's the history of like living and being in these places where people have suffered so much, and gone through so much. It's just amazing actually to be able to stand here and feel that, a little bit of what they must have felt.
The adventure, like being in such a pristine, wild place that's like nowhere else on Earth, I guess. There's something addicting about that.
Yeah, absolutely. And also feel the power of nature. Feel that you are very, very small on the planet. This nature here has just looked the same forever. Just continuing looking the same without us, And I hope it can stay like that and not have too much changes due to human presence.
And what a treat. On our last excursion, we get to get up close and personal with a seal. I believe he is a nettle seal. You can see he has some little silvery spots on him, and he's kind of a dark gray color. He is resting very deeply, and even though there's a lot of people milling about, he doesn't seem to mind too much. I can't believe this is the end of our Antarctica cruise. It has been an absolutely amazing week on board. We've done 2 excursions a day. The staff has been incredible. The expedition team, the restaurant staff, the room staff, everything has just been a top-notch experience with Antarctica 21. And just being here has been incredible. Seeing the views from the window and stepping foot on here, you really feel how huge and vast and extreme this continent is. It's completely uninhabitable by humans. It's wild, it's pure, and it's just been an absolute privilege to be here. I'm already plotting how we're gonna get here next. So I understand the polar bug. It gets you and you can't stay away from Antarctica, and I think I may have caught it a little bit myself.